the heartbreaking reality. You spend 2 hours drilling spelling words with your child on Sunday night. By Tuesday's test, they've forgotten half of them. Sound familiar? Here's what's breaking my heart. It's not your child's fault. It's not your fault. But there is a scientifically proven solution that could change everything. And schools? They're not using it. 3 years ago, I watched my daughter Sophia cry over her history textbook. She'd studied for hours and still couldn't remember the dates for her exam. I'm a former teacher turned educational researcher, and I felt helpless. That's when I discovered something that revolutionized how we approach learning in our home. The solution comes from a 139-year-old discovery by German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus, the forgetting curve. His research, now backed by hundreds of modern studies, shows that we forget up to 70% of new information within 24 hours. But here's the incredible part. There's a specific pattern of review that can lock information into long-term memory permanently. Myth number 1: more hours equals better results. Before we go further, pause and think. How many hours did you study for your biggest exam in school? Drop that number in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Here's myth number 1 that's crushing our kids. If they just study longer, they'll remember more. Last month, I met a parent named Jennifer whose son Marcus studied for 3 hours straight before his science test. He got a C-. Why? Because his brain was drowning in information with no time to process or consolidate it. The science is clear. Dr. Henry Roediger's research at Washington University shows that mass cramming, what he calls massed practice, creates the illusion of learning. You feel like you know it in the moment, but the memory fades within days. The solution? Spaced repetition. Instead of 3-hour marathons, Marcus now studies science for 25 minutes across 6 different days. His last test? A-. The total study time was actually less, but the spacing made all the difference. Myth number 2: reviewing once is enough. Here's the second mistake I see everywhere. Parents think, we reviewed this yesterday, so we're done. Let me tell you about Aisha, an 8-year-old who loved reading but couldn't remember her multiplication tables. Her mom would quiz her on Monday, Aisha would get them right, and they'd move on. By Friday's test, gone. Here's what neuroscience tells us. Your brain needs to retrieve information multiple times, with increasing intervals between reviews, to build strong neural pathways. Dr. Piotr Wozniak, who created the super memo algorithm, found that optimal spacing follows a pattern. Review after 1 day, then 3 days, then 7 days, then 14 days. The actionable solution for Aisha's family. Day 1. Learn multiplication facts, Monday. A day 2. Quick 5-minute review, Tuesday. A day 4. Second review while making dinner, Thursday. Day 8. Third review during car ride, next Monday. A day 15. Final review, 2 weeks later. Within a month, those multiplication tables were locked in permanently. Aisha's mom told me she actually cried tears of joy when her daughter rattled off 7 by 8 without hesitation 3 months later. Myth number 3: passive rereading works. Quick question for you. When you were a student, did you highlight and reread your textbooks? If yes, type guilty in the comments. Myth number 3 is the highlighting trap. I see kids, and honestly, parents too, reading and rereading notes, highlighting in different colors, making everything look pretty. It feels productive, but research by cognitive psychologist Jeffrey Karpik proves it's one of the least effective study methods. Here's why. Passive reading doesn't force your brain to work. There's no struggle, no retrieval effort, and therefore, no strong memory formation. The scientific alternative? Active recall through space testing. Let me give you a specific, actionable solution you can implement tonight. The flashcard method, updated for spaced repetition. 1. Create question-based cards, not just facts. For example, instead of George Washington, write, who was the first U.S. president and why was his leadership important? 2. Use the box system. O Box 1. Review daily, new cards. O Box 2. Review every 3 days, cards you got right once. O Box 3. Review weekly, cards you've gotten right twice. O Box 4. Review monthly, mastered cards. 3. When your child gets it wrong, move it back to Box 1. When they get it right, move it forward. My son David used this method for Spanish vocabulary. He went from failing quizzes to scoring 95% consistently within 2 months. The magic wasn't studying harder, it was studying smarter with proper spacing. The school system problem, why they're not teaching this. Now, you might be wondering, if this science is so solid, why aren't schools using it? Here's the truth, and I say this as someone who taught for 7 years. Teachers are overwhelmed. They have 25 to 30 students, standardized test pressure, and a curriculum that moves at a fixed pace regardless of whether kids have truly mastered the material. The current system is built on coverage, covering topics, not on retention. Your child's teacher might introduce fractions on Monday and move to decimals by Friday, whether your child is ready or not. This isn't about blaming teachers. They're doing their absolute best in a broken system. But it means that you, as a parent, need to become your child's spaced repetition advocate at home. Actionable implementation, your 7-day starter plan. Okay, let's get practical. Here's your exact 7-day plan to implement spaced repetition starting this week. Days 1 to 2. Identify your child's struggle subject. Have them create 10 question cards on the current topic they're learning. Day 3. First review session, 7 minutes testing themselves on those cards. Keep the ones they miss in a separate pile. Day 5. Second review. Test on all 10 cards again. Celebrate the ones they remember. Day 7. Third review. By now, you should see noticeable improvement. Ongoing. Add new cards weekly, but keep reviewing the old ones on the schedule I mentioned earlier. 1-3-7-14 pattern. Pro tip. Turn it into a game. My daughter Sophia and I race to see who can answer their practice questions faster. She uses her school material, I use trivia. She loves beating mom, and the information sticks. What subject does your child struggle with most? Comment below, and let's help each other out with specific tips. The 3 keys. Let me bring this all together because this is truly important. The 3 keys you're taking away today. 1. Space it out. Short study sessions across multiple days beat marathon cramming every single time. 2. Increase intervals. Review at 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 14 days. This is the science-backed pattern. 3. Test actively. Use flashcards, practice questions, anything that forces retrieval, not passive rereading. Your child isn't bad at remembering. They've just never been taught how their memory actually works. You now have the knowledge to change their entire academic trajectory. If this video helped you understand why your child has been struggling, please hit that like button. It helps other frustrated parents find a solution. Subscribe and turn on notifications because next week, I'm sharing the 5 free apps that automate spaced repetition for kids. Complete game changer. And seriously, comment below. What's one thing you're going to try this week? I read every comment and often reply with personalized advice. You've got this. Your child's got this. Together, we're going to transform how they learn.